today, and we also kind of tossed around the ideas of doing, really close. We also kind of tossed around the idea of doing either a Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, and I don't think we landed on that last time. So we need to land on that as well. And then also, we have to choose a theme, and I have a couple ideas, kind of based off of some of the leftover camp themes that aren't getting used. And then cost. We have $15 per head that's coming from multi-site. It's going to be allocated towards this, and then so whatever we charge is just additional. Another thing that I want to land on today, because we're going to have to, I would like to start signups at least for, ideally signups for the event and signups for host homes, but at least signups for host homes at the beginning of December, so we can get out ahead of that and start casting that vision to our congregations, letting them know that we're going to be asking them to open up their home on this event. So let's start with date. If you guys pull up your calendars and look at February, the two dates that we tossed around were the 15th and 16th of, or the weekend of the 15th, the weekend of the 22nd. Just looking at it, I don't know what I said last time, but Valentine's Day is on that Thursday, so there very well could be people celebrating Valentine's Day that weekend, host homes, going out to dinner or whatnot. So just based off that, I wouldn't mind doing the weekend of the 22nd. Is there any pushback on that? Okay.
Just a little bit of a cushion and
Yep.
a counter too.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, so, and then I'm kind of leaning more towards Friday, Saturday, at least for this one. Now I love the idea, and I definitely see the 100% integration of Saturday to Sunday and having your last session at Fuse. But I think fighting stuff on Sunday mornings, and since this is the first time we're doing it, my vote would be to do it Friday, Saturday. What are your guys' thoughts?
If we're doing 3 different events, 3 hubs, are we all gonna do it on the same weekend, or do we have,
Yes.
no, I mean like the same Friday, Saturday, Sunday deal? Or would a hub be able to pick a different?
I think we would want to be on the same page.
Okay. 'Cause I'm more leaning Saturday, Sunday.
Okay.
Part of that is, we're gonna do it Friday. CR would probably not be able to meet, which I can go, we can fight that battle with them. I know we've had to cancel that event or that service on different occasions, but because of what CR does.
How many go to
who's in the building.
CR?
It's who's in the building. Like, we can't have kids at the church while CR's having, because there's, you know.
Yeah, how many are in CR? Just thinking of a different venue.
I'd have to ask Stan, but they do worship in the studio and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. So just to ask Stan ahead of time, hey, what does this look like?
Maybe they could have a special event off-campus thing
Yeah, if
that,
we
and both of them win.
if we communicate in advance again, and if I decide that's a hill I want to climb, if that's something that we definitely have to stick with, that would be my only pushback was CR, because I didn't want to devalue them and say, hey,
Yeah,
this event is better, it's
right.
more important than yours. But if that's where, if I don't have a choice to go Saturday, Sunday, that's the only objection that I had. I think with the first one, I just want to try it. I'm excited we're doing the event, period. I think it's a great idea, so let's do it.
My concern with having multiple dates is just the marketing of it, and
Yeah.
I think it's a lot easier if all the dates are the same.
Any other thoughts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
My thought for Saturday, Sunday is that the second session is going to feel kind of lame, because it's going to basically just be a souped up Fuse service. Now, I think it could be, I mean, obviously it will be cooler than a Fuse service and we'll add a lot of elements, but there'll be kids there who didn't pay to go to the event at Fuse, obviously. And so I don't think any of those kids would feel cheated, but some of them might. And then also just what I'm able to do. The conference center at my church is a really awful place to, it's just not a great space, opposed to Saturday night. I'm probably going to be utilizing the auditorium, which is a lot nicer to do session, a lot more tech equipment, a lot more things of that nature. And then so the Saturday night session is going to seem a lot better than the Sunday morning session. And then for other campuses too, like, I don't know. What does anyone else have any thoughts on Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
The day doesn't matter so much for me as it will be the location. I know I've talked to Jordan for a while, and I floated an idea to him, and I think the more I've thought about it, the more I like it. I don't know what everyone would say here, but the win for the event to me is the partnering with our campus. Like, that's a huge win. Students and the small group leaders being able to partner with our campus and be able to stay with people that they might come in contact with every week, create a new relationship with another adult. Like, it's a huge benefit for someone from Kirksville to stay the night in Kirksville with maybe someone they've never met before, but they're with their small group leaders, and then they've met a new family, new adults, and we're just broadening the support system at a local level, which is why I love the event. I think the event is genius. I wonder. I'd kind of like to know, what do you guys think if? Because the day won't matter to me. It's the location's the biggest thing that dictates to me what I feel about the date. But would you guys have any pushback if Kirksville did emerge, but I would get in contact with K-Life in our town, I'd get in contact with other people in our community and lead merge, but do it at a local level with people in our community? I think that'd be what I would like to try to do, depending on what you all think or what your pushback would be or your thoughts.
So you're proposing that merge be done at a local level,
For
or
us.
at least for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, because frankly, we're the only campus in it. I mean, every other campus is at least, I think, somewhat close enough to their hub that they could still get back locally and still have the benefit of doing that. Like, if we were to do it in Hannibal, which would be cool in the Orpheum, but we're 2 hours away almost from home. And to try to, and then the other thing is if the session starts at 7, like, we're still having to make sure we hightail out of Kirksville before 5, and then we're gonna have students who aren't gonna be able to do it because of whatever practice is going on. Maybe there's none, but I'm trying to, I want to create the best possible win for our campus and for our students. I love the event. And if I didn't love the event, I would just say, well, we'll just whoever can come, and we'll just go.
But you have it at the church there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we'd have it in the, we'd have it in our auditorium. Yeah, we'd have it in our auditorium. And what it would be is we would still use the same form. So anyone, so say if we partner with K-Life and maybe there's another group that wanted to partner with us, they would still go through all of our forms, pay the same amount of money. Frankly, if they go through K-Life, most of them won't have a church home anyway. It'd be a good way for me to get their information. But so and I think I know some cons to it in my mind. I'm there, the pros outweigh it, but I just want to hear what y'all think.
I'm not opposed to that idea. I definitely understand that Kirksville is somewhat of a anomaly as far as hubs go, to where your ability to work with the other campuses in your hub is somewhat hindered, actually very hindered by your location. Yeah, I don't know, Jordan, what do you think?
ultimately, it just comes down to what you think is the biggest win.
Mhm.
Like, and then I think that's like ultimately what it comes down to. So like, what Brett's saying is, the biggest win is for his kids to be in local homes.
Uh-huh.
So if that's where you think the win, I don't know, that for me, that, like, partnering with my church is absolutely, like, of course, and of course I get the luxury if we do it in Hannibal, or I can partner. But to me, that space is not the win for the kids, where it might be the win for the church though. And that's what you're getting at, and you guys are very community driven right now, and I can see the direction you're headed, so this goes right with your direction. Downside, I got both sides. The downside to it is our church would be paying $20 a head for kids that don't go to our church. That's one of them, but I don't think that's a bad thing either. The downside is you're gonna have logistics where the small group leaders, they need to provide their own small group leaders and probably even their own homes to avoid a lot of stickiness, depending on how well you can partner with those churches. But I'm just saying, like, they got into logistically. The win is obviously you partner with your church, you do it at a local level. The only negative that you have is the question mark on your numbers, but that's not what drives the spend anyways, it's small groups. So, I don't care. I mean, at the end of the day, if we do it locally or corporately, I think there's something about corporate that's cool, and I think it takes away when there's less people if we're gonna do like hubs, but.
So, anyway, are we on a Friday, Saturday? We never rested that. I think we're all good with K-Bill doing what they,
Yeah,
Breaking
yeah.
out of
Obviously making sure that Brett doesn't get in trouble for having allocation towards other churches.
Right, sure.
Thing, which
Mhm.
he probably
We
should.
don't have, like, I mean, it's even a thing where I'm actually not afraid of, you know, if it's only our students that got the money. Frankly, I think that there's plenty of money still to,
Yeah,
$20
For
takes,
sure.
takes
so
care of.
I'm not afraid of, like, if we need to, wherever anyone would land, suddenly if you take a look at that and you talk to a couple people or whatever, and it's like, hey, we're fine with it, but we'd rather you, it'd be no big deal for me at all.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid of that.
Well, the $20 that the students pay is enough for the small group leader to go out and have fun with them, and the $15 the church pays, we'll just stay at the church if we
Yeah,
don't
just-
spend it.
yeah,
You know,
man.
so it's.
unless we
churches-
wanted to, I mean,
Is that right?
I kind of had, I mean, at least my vision, like I wanted sessions to be awesome, like those glow
Oh, yeah.
sticks from Orange, like buying things for session, maybe even like confetti and things of that nature. I was at least how I was planning it in my hub was I was wanting session to be
Big.
very, very
Good,
big,
yeah.
really cool. And then maybe even like shirts or something, or something that the kids get.
Mhm.
But
Got it.
We can talk more. I would argue though that students from K-Life do not have a church home by and large. I've already talked to Wade.
sure,
Like, so I would,
yeah, and if that's the case, then that's,
like I would say that in a majority of our other students in our community, at least though they're gonna come because they hear about the cool event and they wanna be a part of it, or they're gonna come like with K-Life who they treat that as their church, their students do, because that's what they do. Yeah, I would say that it'd be a great opportunity to bring them into a church home.
How many K-Lab students?
Well, junior high is their second biggest
I
group,
thought it would be.
and, because they're high school, actually they have less high schoolers than I do at church,
Mm.
which is not good, but their junior high, I think they have like 60 or 70
Oh,
on a, so it'd be another campus, right? So that's why I was.
yeah, that's kind of
that's
changes
kinda
the
my
game
thing,
a little.
too. I don't know if 50 or 70 will come, but they have that many come on weekly basis.
I don't know.
And beyond that, like if I go to local level, I don't care what they would do. I'd be happy to work to do it on
Right.
Friday, Saturday.
okay, so we'll say Kirksville, and Bigger Wayne is you guys being able to do your own thing, so that's cool. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
If that's the case, Steve, like, what do you think about me and Pop just jumping in with you? And then we'll take care of housing at our own local level, and just make it huge.
Oh, jump, you said jump in,
Yeah.
you got it.
You can chew on that one. I don't care, but I'm
Yeah, I just, So you guys would be traveling back to Hannibal
We would
or
take care of our own,
Pike to house.
we would take care of our own housing and transportation. It's morphing again. We don't have to do it, but I'm just saying, like,
It'd be crazy.
That's one thing I want to do is find out where, and then we have campuses that aren't represented and what's going to make the best sense for them, or do we give them a choice, or do we tell Lima you're going to be going there, Mount Sterling you're going to Pike, you know, what, don't know. I just want to figure that part out as well.
Because, I
I
mean,
feel like at least
we
that's
have the,
made, like,
right.
My thoughts changed.
yeah, we have the hub model, but obviously proximity is the, that's,
Yeah.
For this particular event.
for
I
this
think
event, proximity is so
proximity is-
important. So, like,
And I think we're talking about even just 2 campuses going together, not necessarily needing to be 3, or was it?
well,
Maybe it
so
was
the
3 all
idea
the
was
time.
for Keokuk and Mount Sterling to be with Macomb,
Okay, yeah, that's true.
929 Lima to be with me.
Yeah.
And Monmouth.
And Monmouth, sorry. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right.
Monmouth. So because I feel like if we add more to our hub, then it just gets muddied a little bit.
You tell me that, it's all right.
But
We're gonna be going to the same places anyways, that's another thought of mine, like, we're going to Quincy. Like, you tell me we're not going to Scotty's Fun Spot, because on the same weekend. Like, we're going there, put our smaller, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like, a lot of
Send
the
your kids to be-
locations are gonna be the same anyways. And
You
so
might send
really
it.
what you're saying is you're adding more to your main session.
Uh-huh.
That's what you're talking about adding. That's what I'm saying, like, I don't wanna add to your plate, like,
Yeah.
workload, that's why we're housing our own.
No, I'm cool with it. Yeah. All right. So, okay. So my vote is still Friday, Saturday. Does anyone else have like a strong Saturday, Sunday feeling?
Yeah, I think we're good there.
So Andre,
Yeah, I'll chase that down with.
just try to chase it down and
CR.
see if they're saying that it's not possible, then you could do Saturday, Sunday. But I think it'd be cool if we all did it on the same night.
Yeah, I'll chase it down.
Flip side of things, if he did Saturday, Sunday, you could test that out to see how that works.
So Sunday, would the students all go to the Macomb
Views, yeah.
views?
I think either's fine with it just being so short. The Saturday, Sunday, like you said, it kind of like having to get back for Fuse. I think Friday or Saturday works with the 24-hour thing, either or.
Okay. So we'll plan Friday, Saturday, and if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, sure.
So, what else do I have here? Cost, $15 a head from the church, $20 a kid. Does that sound
Yep.
okay? We don't seem to have any issues getting $20 a kid. So as far as sessions go, there are only 2. So theme is, it's important, but it's not quite as big of a deal as it is for an encounter or a camp, because it's not 5 or 6 sessions. It's only 2. Jordan had a Romans 8 theme called Connect for camp that was good. I think Romans 8 might be maybe a little too lengthy to try and deal with in 2 sessions.
What if we just like use the theme of merge and like subdivision?
For this
like,
first one?
First one. I don't know, like if we thought about that. Like I feel like we're trying to,
What are the sessions or scripture you're thinking, or are you?
I mean, it's very similar to what we talked about with Fuse. Like confusing like kids
Fuse
with
with
Christ,
Christ.
kids with Christ,
Mhm.
kids with the church, like it's very much the same script and it's an introduction to what we do on a regular.
What are your thoughts, Andre?
I like merge. I like vision casting that. If we do decide to make it similar to how we would vision cast Fuse,
Uh-huh.
I'd love to get a lot of creative elements in there.
Right.
Presented like a lot of different illustrations, like kinda, I don't know if Jordan thinks about this, but kind of doing something similar to like what Mix does, where they're communicating the same thing, but using different ways to communicate it. So I want it to be a similar event to anything we've ever done before, similar delivery, or an idea, a concept that we talked about once a year for us to deliver it the same way. There's some more interactives. You can get
Absolutely.
some glue guns, get some crayons, and you're gonna fuse everything or merge. No, not fuse. You're gonna merge this thing together as we walk through this idea.
I think one thing is like totally true, like what you're just talking about, is we know that to capture the junior high's attention, this big group setting, we've seen it in Insomnia, and like we need to rework and rethink what a session looks like for junior high students that's an overnight. I think that's a huge like no-brainer, we all know that. because
Now this crowd will be significantly different than the Insomnia crowd,
It could be.
at least like for me.
You think so?
Yes.
Because you don't see
I will
the
not
kids that go to
have-
Scotty's?
No, I don't.
Are you gonna advertise Scotty's? Like,
No.
you wouldn't have, because the small group leader would determine.
Small group leader
where you go.
determines. I think that in the advertising of this event, the promotion of it is significantly harder than Insomnia, because you're not saying, hey, like when we came to Insomnia, like when I was promoting Insomnia, I didn't say anything about sessions, I didn't say anything about worship, which will be two of the things I'll talk about in the promotion of this event. And I know just strictly based off of kids' perception of church, the minute I mention session, the minute I mention speaker, the minute I mention worship, there's going to be probably half of my kids not have any interest in coming. Which is okay.
I just feel like, okay, so I hear what you're saying on the promotion side, so we have to be intentional with how we promote. But like, this is the perfect event to merge a student that is outreach
Uh-huh.
into the small groups. Because, like the way it's designed, like this is time-based, and so the longer kids spend with leaders, the more they're gonna actually merge with the church. And so, like, in my opinion, this is the perfect follow-up after an Insomnia to invite all those same kids. I get you, we're gonna obviously all.
Yeah,
reach out
I'll
to- but I mean,
invite
be
all those
strategic
kids.
even with our, like, marketing to try to pull them in. Like, still, like, we can do quite a bit, in my opinion, to still pull them in while still allowing flexibility, you know, with the small groups. So I hear what you're saying, I'm just saying, this is a great event to merge.
I also think your promotion is going to be very similar to that of Fusion. And at Fusion, we used to broadcast and sell both pretty hard.
You know.
We have the sessions, we have entertainment, we have all this crazy stuff. And you have to realize that was a much different group than you saw at Insomnia. So it does change a little bit, but it is also a fertile soil. So I think you still can probably advertise a little bit of both. But you know what students you need to target and brand. Hey, this is the really important that's going to happen. And then you have the other group of students like, hey, this is really crazy fun stuff going to happen. And surprise, you're here. This is what it is.
Right.
And, you know, same way you do target audiences when you're
Right.
marketing things.
Right,
People market it
right,
different
yeah, and I understand that, but I just know like there was a lot more of that you can do with Insomnia.
Because
than you
everything
can
was a
with-
set schedule. I'm
Right.
with you.
Like, I probably got 50, 60 kids to Insomnia by telling them we were having a Fortnite tournament.
Couldn't you? Again, like, couldn't you still do it? Like, if that's what's gonna pull them in, like, let's have a Fortnite tournament at 1 AM, wherever. Like, I just feel like I'm with you. I hear you. Like, how are you, I guess the question is, how are you integrating outreach kids that decide to come to this event? Where are they going? Like, what's smaller? Is it gonna be based on interest, or is it gonna be based on who invited them? What's it, you know, what I mean, what's gonna be?
Yeah, I just like I'm seeing like if I brought 250 kids to Insomnia, I'm like
I don't think you're getting too big.
no, I'm guessing like 125, and I think that's that would be because I bring like 90 to camp. So I think 125 would be like
That's realistic.
that'd be, I think that's not conservative. That's like a goal number. Like if I were to hit 125, that would be like a huge win. So I'm not super concerned about there being like 70 kids who don't have small group leaders and I have no idea what to do with. Like I'll have my kids that are consistent. I'll have the kids who are fringy, like once a month kids, and then I'll have like 20-ish kids that don't come to church.
What if,
Maybe.
for the kids that are already in small groups, you already know who their leaders are, what if like they knew beforehand what they were doing and they invited kids off of that? Like they already know, the kids are a part of the planning
Uh-huh.
beforehand. And so like, okay, we're all playing Fortnite, we know what we're doing. Like I'm gonna target every kid that loves Fortnite and invite them to this thing, because what we're talking about is 10 straight hours of Fortnite over at this person's basement. Like that's what we're doing, we already know. I hear what you're saying, but I'm
Right.
saying there's also another side to it where we can probably still gain. And it's so important to gain in this instance because of time.
Right.
How identical do all these events have to be? Are we gonna do the same set list? Are we gonna have the same time?
No, freedom to, I mean, I think we should have a theme that we want to roll with of concepts like, hey, this is our bottom lines that we want to hit. How you present those, freedom, what songs you want to do, you know, all of that stuff. If we wanted to talk about songs so that we don't all have to buy separate multi-tracks, that'd be nice, but,
Times,
you mean like schedules?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's relatively open.
Okay.
I don't see why that has to be the same.
Just start time.
Yeah, start time,
To be kind of together on.
yeah.
That way, as we're branding and
Just for,
packaging it
yeah,
to everybody, it gets more clear. That's the only thing I think would be wise.
Are there, this is jumping in my headache, are there issues with, we have to have these people that they're staying with do background checks?
I
Yeah.
definitely thought
Yeah.
about that.
Yes,
for sure. And the way they do background checks now is not,
it's pretty.
it's very quick, so
Okay, all right.
we'll know ahead enough to do that. So. So yeah, what else? Oh, so with the host homes, so obviously a big part of this event is having the homes that are going to host the students in a basement or whatever. What do we want them to be responsible for? Two things I think would be they can help. They might not have to be like completely responsible. In some cases, they might have to be entirely responsible for transportation. But let's say like small group leader has a car, they have a car, like that would be able to transport the group. But if small group leader, I think small group leaders for this event should all be adults, correct? No high school small group leaders for
I
this
think
event.
they should be all adults, or at the very least, if they're gonna be in there, they'd be paired high school students. I think that's wise.
I could see like I have a couple seniors that can
Right.
drive, but yeah, I think they have to be able to drive.
I think the challenging thing is, does a parent want their kid to be with a high school 18-year-old driving around? I think that's more of gonna be your sticking point. I'm not saying one way or another, I'm just thinking like, from a parent's perspective, that's something we need to consider is like, is that the main person responsible for my kids? Would I be okay with that as a parent, like for this kid to be an 18-year-old driving late at night with all my kids? We gotta answer that question.
And that's where I think pairing it with a host home there's a little more security, knowing that there's also an adult from the church who's been background checked that's going to be responsible as well.
So you'd have your host home, you know who that is and how many they can transport, plus you'd know your small group leader for that home.
Yeah,
How
so
many they can transport, so you know
the
how
week
many
or two
kids-
before, I'm going to be making
to
sure
put in.
that I connect the small group leader with the host home so that they're communicating with each other, which is another win.
Yeah.
Well, when I think of our two seniors,
Mm-hmm.
both of their moms would gladly host them.
Right.
And so I think you could, that's something else to look at with high schoolers.
Yeah. And then do we want to allocate some budget for them to do breakfast in the morning then? So then
I wouldn't, I'd just let them do it.
you just say they're responsible for breakfast.
I would ask them to do it, and if it becomes an issue, like I would take care of it then.
Okay.
But I think you can put it in that ask. It's-
So in the host home sign up process, right?
Yeah,
Part of that is would you be okay with hosting, transporting, and doing breakfast for a small group of students?
If they're willing to open up their home, they have some sort of
Hospitality, so
they're
that,
gonna
that shouldn't be a
love
problem,
Mm.
right?
getting breakfast.
Right, okay,
And generally breakfast isn't a crazy expensive meal.
sure,
Right.
sure.
My guess still be snacks, most homes are gonna have
More than
tons of stuff.
I'm just gonna give them a boiled egg, say, I
Just a
said
boiled
enjoy.
You chose the short straw, sorry, bud.
Okay.
He's getting mozzarella sticks.
Are you putting together a little bit of choice of events for these? And
Yeah.
I guess the small group leader and host home get to talk in advance.
Yeah, so I'll have a nice list of, here's some options that you guys can do for fun.
Right, so whoever's,
Like a
Uh,
little, really nice little
Mhm.
would be cool.
What you're saying form, like online form?
No, like if you had like a little.
Oh, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you see like the life group summer stuff?
Yeah,
Like something like that is like,
Yeah.
you know, this time slot you have these three options,
Yeah.
this time slot these three options. And then they can go and it's like they have a custom menu.
right.
Almost be cool.
And then obviously as far as small group curriculum, I want it to be kind of different than we've done at a lot of events, to where we try and make it as organic as possible and provide the small group leaders with like some question cues or questions to ask, but to not have structured small group time, and rather to give them the task of these are some things I would like you to talk about with your group over the evening. So whether that's when you're in line somewhere, whether that's when you're, laying down, going to bed, whatever it is, like try and make it as organic as possible so that the kids don't. The goal is for the kids to not feel like they're in a small group setting, at least in my opinion, so they don't feel like they're being like force asked questions, that this is a leader like genuinely asking these questions because they care about them, would be my
I
thought.
also really like what CNLY does too. I think there's a lot of value, like if we did a packet with cards. And again, not all of them be like a question, like more like an activity, like something, just like more like a mixer, thing, get the kids interacting. I think that could be a big link to kids.
Last year, I went and during small group of high school, we went and played frisbee golf. And right before we got to play a hole, all my students had to ask a question or answer a question.
It's great.
And it was really cool
No?
thinking like that. Setting something up like that, I think would be really cool. Like the idea of set up times where small group leaders are going to play frisbee golf and the questions are at each hole for them. So as they're going around, they're picking up a card. Idea, but that would be, that would set up the small groups leaders to win and really have great conversations and entertaining, something like that.
Right. Does anyone have a desire to be in charge of that,
Small group stuff.
to do small group stuff and?
I'd jump in with someone, if someone would jump in with me.
I think that the hardest thing about it is if everyone's going to be speaking differently and
Yup,
that type of stuff.
Yep.
You almost kind of have to do it per hub.
you're right. Fair enough.
I think it just depends on how you do the thing, how much the theme drives everything. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to. How much the
Right.
theme drives.
But I'm thinking like, small group leader saying, hey, so-and-so said this earlier, what did that?
Yeah,
And that's gonna be different from,
and that'll probably change the night up.
Yeah,
No one else speakers were when it
Yeah.
comes to junior higher.
yeah,
Like I could do the small group curriculum, but it's gonna be geared towards what
Yep.
Andre and I are doing, and it may not even relate, like,
sure.
and we won't realize that until in the middle of the, event or something. No relation to what, 48th Street does.
Right, so, okay, so we'll have to take care of that on the hub, which is fine. It's not like a huge, shouldn't be a big deal. Let me see if there's anything else. Is there anything else you guys want to know about this, or any other things that that you feel like we need to get done now? My goal is to have the sign-up form. When I put in the media request, I put the deadline of December 1st. So my goal is to have all of that and have it all ready to go for December 1st. So sign up, promotion, all of that stuff is ready then. So that's on, I guess, the media team's plate. Hopefully we get it then. That'd be great. And then I'll probably ask Jim to do, if I can do announcements sometime shortly after that, so then I can just vision cast the host homes thing from stage to our congregation.
I think it'd be really good when we're doing like the video, like a recap or whatever, for us to get like people in our congregation in that video. So like, yeah, we have a fun aspect, like all that,
Uh-huh.
but like on the other side of it, like, hey, like this is what this meant, like to me. Like, and this is actually, like this actually stretched me, like this actually taught me more about, like this actually gave me a heart to, I just think like that side would be equally as cool to capture for a recap, because recaps a lot of times are just as much for the parents who are signing their kids up
Right.
as they are for, and so like when we're talking about merging the church with our youth, like
Yeah.
that would be a cool thing to capture. And again, we'll have hundreds of different families that are in, so we gotta pick them, don't have to be taken on the night up, but I would love to see that done.
One of the difficulties with doing these events at different locations is we are gonna be stretching, like at some point, like I don't even know how many people we have that are capable of film, but, so hopefully we'll be able to get footage from everywhere.
I was planning on chatting a little bit with you about some different ideas on what we can do, but the nice thing is we got like GoPros, we got different things like that. So
Right.
we can strap them on kids and just like,
I don't wanna be running that event, and I don't wanna have to be contributing like thought power to footage stuff. Like I wanna just like, I want my responsibility to be running the event, not like, okay, like, do I have this person in this place to get so hopefully that's something that.
I think as you compile your list,
Uh-huh.
you say, I want people to go to these things, like this is what I want you to capture. You know, like capture breakfast, capture this, capture that, like that's what you do, like it's just like that's what we do with all of our videos, it's like a 3-second clip of every single thing we do. Like that's mainly how we do our videos in
Right.
today's world. So I think that wouldn't be hard to
Okay,
capture. The question is how do you separate it from insomnia? Like how do you make it look different enough? I think
Yeah.
that's capturing the individual. And so you don't need to follow everybody, but if you follow like a few, you would do some really good things.
right.
Developers, how can we use them, whether it's tech or worship, media?
You can use them for doormats, anything you want to use them for.
Well, I'm assuming that as far as tech goes, we're not gonna be able to have like our staff tech team at every location, so I'm sure they'll divide up and split up with developers, and so that people can all have multi-site tech crews at their location.
What you probably want to do is just kind of have a chat with Ken and just saying like, hey, I know these people are all over at this point in time in February. Like, can we utilize some of them? Like, just have a conversation. Normally